For our hip shifts, I invite you to lie onto your back with the legs fully extended, resting the legs onto the floor and the arms down to the sides. Bring awareness to your right leg, the connection that you feel of your right hip, right knee, and right heel with the ground. And I invite you, if they're not already there, to orient your toes to face towards the ceiling. In this place, your leg is more or less in a neutral position of your pelvis. From here, reach your toes towards the ceiling as you reach your heel towards an imaginary wall underneath your foot. And keep reaching that heel towards the wall, as if you're trying to press a button on that wall. In essence, feeling that gliding motion or that sliding motion of the pelvis moving in the direction of that reaching heel. And then release the effort of the leg. Reestablish a sense of evenness with the pelvis. Not with any force of effort, but just a sense of we're not holding anything, tensing anything through the right. And then let's go to the left side, sensing your left pelvis, the left side of your knee, and the left side of the bottom of your heel. And then orient the toes to face towards the ceiling. And here might be a good time to bring your hands onto the tops of your hips, just as a bit of feedback to sense that pelvic shifting motion I'm talking about. Okay, bringing the left toes up towards the ceiling, sending that left heel towards an imaginary wall in front of you. At the bottom of your foot, keep reaching that heel towards that imaginary wall, and then sense how the left side of your pelvis is shifting downwards towards the direction of that heel. And then release the effort of the left leg. Sense how the pelvis returns more or less to a neutral position. And we go to the right, reaching the right toes towards the ceiling, reaching out through the right heel towards that imaginary wall. Sense the right hand moving down. That's an indication that your right side pelvis is also shifting downwards. And then release. Release the toes, the hips, the thighs, the calves. And then go to the left, sending your left toes to the ceiling, reaching out through your left heel, finding that imaginary wall. And sense how the left hip is gently rolling down towards the ground, perhaps feeling how that left hand is sliding downwards of the right hand. And then release the effort of the leg. Reset from rest. Going to the right again, reaching out through that right heel, feeling that downward shifting of the pelvis. And also notice how the left side of the pelvis lifts upwards towards the ribs as the right side of the pelvis slides downwards towards the heel. And then release. Over to the left, reaching out through that left heel. Sense how the left side of the pelvis is moving away from the left side rib cage, and the right side of the pelvis is moving towards the right side rib cage. Now, we're not forcing this action. I invite you to observe this. Release the left leg and continue to alternate side to side. Going to the right, sensing how the right side of the pelvis moves downwards towards that extending right heel, and the left side of the pelvis more or less glides up towards those bottom left ribs. And then we release. And then same observation to the other side, just opposite. So as you reach the left heel down, reach it towards that imaginary wall. The left side of the pelvis is gliding towards that heel, right side of the pelvis is more or less coming closer to the bottom side of the right ribs. And release. For these last few rounds, I invite you to carry a breath with you. So as you extend the leg, as you sense the pelvis gliding down, take a breath in. And then use your exhale to release all effort. Inhaling as you go to the left, gliding that left heel down. Sense the gliding downwards of the left side pelvis. And then exhale, release that effort, even all the way throughout the toes. Over to the right, inhale, gliding, stretching, lengthening, and exhale. Over to the left, inhale, reach, slide, glide, shift that pelvis. Exhale, release. One more each side. Over to the right, inhale, pelvis moves away from that side rib cage. And exhale. Over to the left. And exhale. You can soften your arms down to the ground or by your sides. And see what you notice. See what sensations arise across the pelvis. If there's anything that has changed within the feeling of your lower back. And establish that feeling of connection of your pelvis with the ground, your thighs with the ground. Anywhere that you sense the back of your knee or calf touching. And the weight of your heels. Perhaps noticing how each leg feels slightly different in feelings of contact with the ground. And then rest your awareness with your whole body in connection with the ground.